Dance to me is like air. It's all of me, present, moving, flowing from one place to another. It is when I am the most authentic. And at times, that authenticity was missing. I never really thought about it until now. The struggles that I had, even though I danced professionally and I had opportunities to grow in the industry, there was always something that I faced that I knew some of my colleagues were not facing. And as I now sit and watch this next generation, I recognize how much paving had to happen for what is happening now. Dance has been a part of my life since I was 4 years old. So that's like 46 years of using my body and feeling empowered by using my body. But at the same time, I've also walked down some pretty uncomfortable paths. And I feel like it's only now that I've been given license to chat about it. And I think I'm chatting about it because I don't want us to be having this conversation again 40 years from now. I want tights and hair and body shape and all those things that have happened in dance that don't always make me so proud. I want that to move on. I remember being in my parents' bedroom watching Phil Donahue and having the shock of my life when I saw dancers from Alvin Ailey performing. It was this moment that sticks with me when people ask me, why did you want to dance? And I tell them, I didn't have a dance influence because I didn't see anything that reminded me of myself other than Janet Jackson and the Solid Gold dancers. There wasn't anything that I could hold on to and say, I want to move like that. But that day on Phil Donahue, I saw Alvin Ailey dancers. And that was the first time I really saw technical dancing at a level I'd never experienced before. And it changed what I wanted for myself. It changed my life.
My name is Joy Amyset, and I'm 12 years old. And how I feel about ballet, I just love it because there's technique and precision, but there's also freedom in your arms or in your back. So it has the two, and I just love that about ballet. I just love how dance is not only about movement, but also listening to music and reacting with your body to the music. And how it goes together, and there's just so many things, so many new things you can do with your body with dance. I just love that about dance.
Hi, I'm Ocean Smith. I'm 12 years old, and I love ballet. Ballet is very, very, very hard because, even walking in ballet is hard to do because you have to be thinking, where's my head? Where are my arms? Where are my feet pointing? Are my legs turned out? Everything. I saw my first ballet when I was in grade 3 or 4, so I was 8 or 9. And it was the Nutcracker. And it was just so cool to see like kids in it, and they were dancing so beautifully, and they were dancing like with the company, and that was really cool.
There's a lot of dancers that inspired me. One like Misty Copeland, she's a beautiful ballet dancer. Her extension, her lines are magnificent. And there's also Desmond Richardson and Alvin Ailey, how they have contemporary and they have all styles and they're just amazing.
Some dancers that really inspire me are Jordana Domek, Tanya Howard, Michaela DePrince, and Misty Copeland. I think what really makes me love them is that they look a little bit like me, so to see that they've gone that far in their life is really, really inspiring.
Hello, my name is Jordana Domek, and I am a first soloist with the National Ballet of Canada. As a role model, which the fact that I am a role model to some of these young girls is amazing, and it's something that I've wanted to be and help little ones out for sure and show them what you can be and what is possible, especially my girls with, big curls. A message that I would love to give to them about, just being themselves is when you enter a space, never be ashamed. You have to be proud. The fact that we are in that space, we are showing the next generation, even if you're 12 years old, you are going to be someone's role model. We're paving the way for other dancers moving forward. We're showing that you don't need to have stick straight hair or skin that matches pink tights in order to do ballet. That's not what ballet is about. Ballet is about talent, being able to do the actual art form, not what kind of tights you have on or what type of hair that you have. So we have to keep remembering that when we are in the studio. We need to keep passing that on from one generation to the next.
It's about time. That was my initial reaction when I heard this. I still think 2020 is going to be a history lesson unto its own. I really think that whole year, has so much to bring to the world. But I think, ballet steeped in tradition, unfortunately, because it was, in the time of the King Louis, where even only the men danced, that it's followed down that path where then, women were allowed to partake in ballet. And then it became, as it was, we know it now, where the male dancer kind of supports the female dancer through classical ballet. But I feel in the big picture that because tradition has been what has led us, I think there were enough people that were in charge that nobody really stopped to question. Mm-hmm. And, people just took one foot and put it in front of the other and kept going. And I think it's taken a group of people to kind of come forward, as it has at this time, to make a fuss and say, wake up, give the world a shake and say, what's the problem here? Mm-hmm. I am so supportive of the whole process now that professional schools, because if they can lead the path and they're willing to accept, anybody and everybody that will fit into a ballet role, meaning that their bodies will allow them to do ballet without being injured, I think that's a moment to celebrate.
So we know that tights in ballet were created to match the skin of the dancers who were dancing. And at that time, the dancers were white. So of course you had white or pink tights. But because that tights are supposed to look like your actual skin color, to me, it just makes sense that any dancer, whatever their color, would wear tights that match their skin. To me, it's a no-brainer. And I feel like this is what many of our young students now need to start doing so that it becomes, just part of your everyday. It's you're wearing your pink tights or you're wearing the tights that match your skin. It's not even a second thought about it.
I noticed that all the ballet dancers that I liked had like tights and shoes that were the same colors as their like skin tone. And I was like, oh, maybe I can do that too. So I went to all my teachers and asked them if it was okay if I got like my skin tone of tights and not the ballet pink, because that ruins all the lines. And yeah, so when I tried the tights and shoes on together, it just felt like one huge line just like forming down my body. And when I did like an arabesque, it just like, I just felt like one of my favorite dancers.
So the first time I wore it was in a company performance, and I don't think anyone didn't notice or they didn't say anything about it, except for my dance teacher. She really loved them. And she was so supportive. My dance teacher, Miss Michelle, she's just encourages me to be a better dancer, the best dancer I can be, and she believes that I can do amazing things.
My student was so excited when she got her shoes. The initial pair of point shoes that she got that were not her skin tone, she slept with. So she's very passionate about her dance. But then when she got her skin toned point shoes, oh, over the moon. Yeah.
Know that like all races can do ballet, and that there should be tights for Black people and other colors. I think that's really important. I felt like a better dancer, and it really I felt like it suited me, and it just connected everything together with my dance wear. I feel more powered as a dancer when I'm wearing my brown ballet tights, because I felt like it suited me, it complemented my skin tone, and it just completed my ballet look and completed me as a dancer. Yeah, when I come in class and I had my pink ballet tights, I just felt like it was a uniform, and everyone was like the same basically. But when I wore my brown tights, I felt unique and felt like my full self and representing my culture.
And students knowing that there is the possibility, and that this is an item to be purchased, this is available, is huge.
I made the choice because my mom inspired me with her stories. But I kind of made the choice because of like the stuff that was happening throughout COVID. Or like the first lockdown. Protests, and it was like, we all need to be equal. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I should, I don't know. Like maybe I should like contribute, I guess. Like not really fighting back, but like saying we all have different shades of skin, so we should all have different shades of tights, I guess. I definitely think that I have not made the wrong decision, because I've gotten compliments on it, and people say that my lines look longer and that it really looks similar to my actual skin tone. So that's a plus. And sometimes it just feels really weird because I'm the only person in the class with a different like uniform, I guess. I feel proud that I made the decision to wear tights that complemented my skin tone, because it kind of makes me feel really powerful.
I would tell the child or children to just believe in yourself and go for it, because it's supposed to complement you. It's supposed to match your skin tone. And I feel like you should just go for it. If anyone says anything, educate them or ignore them, because once you wear it, you'll feel so strong and just feel complete. And I would say to just do it. You'll feel amazing afterwards.
It's always good to try something new, especially this, because it's really important.
Hi, I'm Lynette Doherty, and I am the owner and artistic director here at The Space. I think a lot of studio owners may look at inclusion and diversity as a challenge instead of a celebration. And it comes in things like, now I have to be responsible for finding different tights that match everybody, or now I have to be responsible for finding different shoes that match everybody. And I think for people who have never experienced that, it's helpful to put yourself in your dancer's shoes for a moment, because there are a lot of ballet teachers, especially out there, who have never experienced that. They have always been able to find tights and shoes in their color. There have been a wide variety of options in shoes for them, but there are often dancers who don't have those options and resort to, well, I've got to put pancake makeup all over my shoes, or I've got to do something to adapt my shoes to make them fit. I think for studio owners who are discouraged in the challenges of trying to support students who maybe at first glance don't fit that ballet mold, once you start to recognize that this is, a 12-year-old girl starting point for the first time, those challenges are overwhelming, you are their support.
It has to start with us dance studio owners in the dance world, because yes, it will help if all the companies change how they're doing things, because then we will have reference, we will have representation. That will be helpful. But we also have to be educating at this level. That's what we do at this level, right? We educate.
Hello, I'm Krista Dowson. I'm the lead point shoe fitter here at Canada's National Ballet School in the shoe room. Dancewear is so important to a dancer. It's your tool. This ballet is the combination of your physical self, your soul, and your mind, all combining to tell the same story and the same truth. And if one of those areas isn't reflecting your truth, it impacts the rest of the areas. What we wear is a representation of ourselves. And if we choose to wear something that helps us tell our story, we tell it better. If we don't have the choices that help us tell our story, it's a problem. And it's a problem that we can fix. The response to having a more diverse stock in the shoe room has only been positive. And it's really exciting. And as the response is positive and as our collection grows, the appetite increases. And it's one of those wonderful things where the more you get, the more you realize you don't have, and the more you realize you need. And it's exciting. We're asking patrons to support the budget so that money is not why we don't have something. And we're just trying to grow. When a dancer comes in and they find what they need, it's the most gratifying thing. In the car, when I handed them to her and she tried them on, and her face, it was amazing to look and see yourself. And that's so valuable. And it didn't even happen to me. I got to be a small little part of it. I got to watch somebody. It's really cool.
So it's tricky, right? That balance of understanding what it means to a young dancer to have the apparel necessary to do the work or their best work in class, and how that might translate to a professional gig, and how we don't make the connection. I worked at Stratford, which is the Stratford Festival, which is I think the beacon of working in Canadian theater. It's like, yeah, it was so exciting being there. And I was amazed by the materials they were using to make the costumes, and everything was done so pristinely. And I remember at our fitting, not actually the fitting, when we went to our dress rehearsal, I had this amazing costume. All the costumes were amazing. And they handed me my tights. My tights were tan. And I was like, wait a minute, I am at this amazing place where they dye shoes the right color. And I noticed all the girls, they had light beige, tan, and then there was me. I was the only Black dancer there. And yet no one took the time to dye my tights the right color. but they could dye my hat bright green. You see where I'm going with this? After our dress rehearsal, I went to them and I said, I don't know if you understand this, but having tights that actually match my skin tone makes me feel better on stage. I feel like I am fully present. When I'm wearing these beige tights, I feel a little bit like an imposter. And I think there was a little bit of tears, to be honest. My stage manager was so apologetic. She said, Rhonda, I never even thought about that. I never thought about how it might feel to be you. We're not asking the girls to wear brown tights. So from that day forth, they went to wardrobe and they made a Rhonda Roberts dye, and they started dyeing my tights. True story. Now, the hair, that's a completely other topic, but we need to go there.
I feel like the hair thing is huge.
Yeah. Huge. It's
huge. The hair textures, first of all, we have so many different hair textures, and I feel like our hair textures are so different from everybody else's hair. Like everybody else.
Yeah.
You don't understand this, right?
Oh.
This is a different ball game, and I think for all of us, or at least for myself, is it starts so early. I'm watching it in my own children. I watch it as an educator when I walk down the halls and the young Black women have hair straightener already. They've got weaves in, and I go, why? And they all comment when I get a haircut. They're like, Miss Cox, your hair. You got a haircut. Is that a barber who did? Like, they have no clue how to deal with their own natural hair.
Yeah.
And so they, and I guess also their parents, reach towards putting in chemicals or covering it in a way that is more palatable and easier to manage. But then what is that doing to the psyche of those kids when they think that their hair is bad and really wild and unmanageable? And I have to constantly check myself with my own hair, but more importantly with the hair of my children. Making sure I'm like just constantly laying on the praise, laying it on. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yes.
I love the curls because their friends have already said some sketchy things.
I was told I had to have my hair slick in a ponytail. I was like, how am I gonna do that? Because I didn't want to damage my natural hair by using a straightener that might damage it in a way. But my natural hair is really coily and it's not as smooth and not long. So I had to do a ponytail and add an extension in the back. And I wasn't able to do like a braid ponytail because it was supposed to be slick. There was a time where I was hesitant and I just didn't want to say anything because I just really wanted to dance and I didn't want to make a big fuss about it. And I just wanted to be in the dance room and dance. So I just put my hair back, did it up. It was really, really hard. But more and more, I feel like I should just wear my natural hair or my braids in ballet classes, and I can put it up because they do bunch to just make it not in the face. So if I do a ponytail with braids in the back so it's not in my face, I feel like it would be acceptable and I would be comfortable in ballet class.
I know in my own experience as a dancer, there have been times when I've thought, I just want to fit in and do what everybody else is doing. I understand the look that they're going for, and I don't want to be the odd one out. I don't want to be the one that sticks out or she doesn't fit. And sometimes that's, as a dancer who's working, sometimes that's, I'm going to lose my job or I'm not going to be featured in this number if they feel like I don't fit in. And so there is a pressure to try and make yourself fit the mold that a choreographer or a company wants. And Sometimes that means you wear something that you're not especially comfortable in, or that really doesn't look right on you, but we feel like we have to. Or we do weird things to our hair to try and make it fit. I know I've had, I can make my hair look right or whatever they want at the beginning of it, but as soon as it gets wet or I'm sweaty, I'm like, well, here we go. It's all just going to start to pop out and you're going to get the curls coming in. I can't make my hair lie flat and stay flat forever while I dance. It's not going to happen.
Even as a professional dancer, I've run into situations where I felt, I wanted my hair to be straighter and I didn't want to show my curls because I wanted to, fit in and be the image that I thought the ballet world wanted to see more as a classical dancer. There was a role where I had the opportunity to wear my hair down, and I just felt that, I should have it straight. I shouldn't go out there with my curls. I should have it straight because like every other dancer who's ever done this role has always had straight hair. So I should basically, now looking back at that, conform to what that image was and make myself look like that, even though I'm blessed with beautiful curls. I feel like now I would make a different decision for that than I did when I was a bit younger.
Every single show I've done on TV, I would come in and they were just like, oh, we have to straighten this. It's like, I don't know, it's like we have to straighten this. Yeah. My hair would always be straightened. And there would always be this talk about my hair like I wasn't in the room.
Yes.
Like people are just like talking like around me, and even if I go into an audition, it'd be like, okay, we'd like to see her back, and this time can her hair just be straight? It just got to the point where I was just like, I'm just cutting my hair. So I just cut my hair short. And then it's like they put you in like this different bracket where you're like not, you're like a different person. Oh, what happened? And then I was like, what am I going to do? I was going to shave my head.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Like, let's just not make it part. If you want it to be something different, just put a wig on my head. It shouldn't be about that. It's always making it something bigger than it is.
So a lot of us were experiencing hair loss and significant hair loss, which I'll show you a little bit. Significant hair loss due to the rubbing of cranks with the showpieces. I went to the head of hair and I talked to her about what I believe was happening because my hairdresser had pressed for me to get some help. And I was vilified immediately. I went to the girls in the change room and I told them what was happening. And this was traumatic for me because there was no, with black hair, it's not like, it'll grow back in a year. It's like, you're looking at a good 10, 15 years to see that hair growth come back. Okay. And I was losing my hair. So what in the meantime, when I was getting attitude, and I can say attitude from the head of hair that was there. And I went to my hairdresser and I said, well, what can we do? And she said, well, I'm going to put in a row of extensions in and around your hair so that where the crank is, you will be able to protect your hair. While I was getting used to having this extra hair in, I was learning how to prep my head properly. And for all of you that don't know, a prep is when you have to wrap your hair around a semicircle and place a kind of stocking cap on so everything is super tight. So when you wear your wigs or your headpieces, everything is stable on your head. So there was complaints by some of the people in the wardrobe department that I was not having my headpieces on correctly, and this was causing a great big issue. So then what happened was they called somebody in from Women's College Hospital to see if I was lying, about what was happening to my hair, to see if this was not self-inflicted. And I had to go to the hospital. Charmaine, did you go to the hospital?
I didn't go to the hospital. I was part of the letter to get the specialist in. because
Yeah.
my experience was when I got my contract, they said I had to take out all my braids. And I expressed to the producer at the time, it's actually protective against pins. And, you know, because I performed a lot before that, and I'd rather anchor anything to my braids than to my scalp. And they were said, well, you'll be in breach of your contract.
Oh my God.
I took it out. And my first experience was sitting there when we were getting our head molds, okay? I had my hair I had it sort of semi-perm to kind of give it some loose, and I had it out, and they put a fishnet on my head, and then they started spraying my hair with water. And I was sitting there frozen, like, oh my God, my hair is gonna frizz up in this. I'm not gonna be able to get this fishnet off my head because my hair is gonna start to go all into the thing. I told them to stop, and they said, and everybody, I have all these faces looking at me, and they're all, you know, white, and they could not understand. You can't spray water on my hair in a fishnet head cap. And they looked at me, and I was new to this bit. I was like, oh my God, I was mortified. They looked at me, they're like I was some difficult person.
Yeah.
I had to say, I'm not being difficult. My hair cannot take this, right? I was just like, oh my God, it's bringing up all the emotions again.
I know, girl. There was no Black hair person on staff with a cast full of Black women. So just going to finish my story was I was taken to the hospital, and they had to pull my hair back, which for me is a very difficult thing to do. Now I'm going to get emotional.
Yeah.
Because I've had this tremendous amount of hair loss. And they took pictures. And then they took those pictures to the producers to look at and had it analyzed by a specialist to tell them what I already knew. That my hair loss was due to what was happening in the show. And then after all of that happened, I was then labeled as difficult. I was then made to feel that I had gone against the system because I spoke up for myself, but for the women that were in that class, the young women that were in that class, like Charmaine, who did not know if it was right for her to say, this is who I am, this is my hair, we need to come to a compromise, and you need to figure out how to make this work without making me lose my identity.
Yeah. I've been sitting here thinking, like, what made 2020 such a remarkable year? What made 2020 a force to be reckoned with? I think it's just time. Time to start making some changes. Time to start healing some wounds. And time to make this better. Dance has to do better. Yeah.
It's important to show our differences. It's important for people in the audience to see that. The people in the audience are not all people with straight hair, or light skinned. We have to show what our country, Canada, United States, like the world, we have to show that on the stage as well. And even in ballet, like it's not like we're in a Sleeping Beauty fairy tale where it's the Disney version where, we're real people. I feel like this should have happened a long time ago. But I have to say, living in the now, I'm happy that it's happening. I'm just happy that we're having these conversations and that dancers in companies, students in schools are now being given the space to feel their most powerful, beautiful selves.
I just want people to know that all styles can do dance, and there should be changes and like different tights, different hairstyles for different cultures so that they'll feel a part of the dance community and a part of ballet and jazz and all the styles. that they can really dance to their fullest without worrying about, oh, my hair, and oh, my tights have to be a certain way, but it doesn't make me feel comfortable. Oh, my hair, it really hurts because I had to put it in a bun or in a different style. But they can just focus on dancing the best that they can.
And I don't see how we empower dancers. I don't see how we grow confident, expressive dancers if they can't actually express their whole selves and they can't actually feel confident in their whole selves. If they're celebrated for who they are, they're able to really grow into themselves. It's very difficult to express yourself artistically if you're always kind of wondering if maybe this part is okay to express. I don't know, because I don't know how much of me fits in here. We want our dancers to be able to just give themselves over to the music and give something of themselves when they dance. And you can't do that if you don't feel comfortable giving of yourself in the studio because you've been told that part of yourself doesn't belong in the studio.
Representation matters because if you see someone that looks like you and doing something that you want to do who's older than you, you just feel really strong and confident that you can do it because they did it.